we need to know where we come from in order to know where we're going, especially now amongst the Black Lives Matter movement. This ancestral knowledge really helps us to locate ourselves and use our privilege to lift others up in whatever way we can. So I was curious how this knowledge of where you came from has helped you in navigating not only your activism, but also your career.
I've just gotten so much out of that process, out of going deeper into my lineage and my heritage and understanding the stories of those who came before me, who paved the way so that I could be here and have the privileges that I have, and the opportunities that I have. Specifically with my grandmother and my mother, who really paved the way in the arts for me, but had to give up their dreams in a lot of ways to immigrate to a new country and to in search of a better life. And so many people here in Canada have that story that is really the heart of immigration, and it's what we're made of. And so I've drawn so much strength from that ancestral awareness, to the point where literally when there are days where I wake up and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, or I feel like giving up, or what is the point, or am I enough? I hear this little voice, in the back of my mind that says, I was so that you can be. And it just puts everything in perspective. There's no way I could stop. There's no way that I could lose my drive with that understanding. So, I think especially now, like you said, in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement, like, we're tracing it all the way back, and we're very privileged to know where we come from. We're very privileged to be able to trace it back and say, this is where it started, because not everybody has that privilege. A lot of conversations with my Black friends, they're like, we don't know exactly where it started. And that is, there's a power that, was taken from them from the very beginning, that says, well, now you have to start from the ground up, and so for those of us who are privileged enough to know where the root of our ancestry, where it starts, I really just believe that we have a responsibility to carry that forward and to carry those stories with us wherever we go. And that's something that I'm exploring in my art as well. That phrase, to know where you're going, you have to know where you come from. Because there's a lot more that runs through our veins than just blood, it's like there's genetic understanding. There is there's so many stories. And I think there's no shortage of inspiration to draw from that. And I hope that if your parents are around, or your grandparents are around, you find it in you to ask those questions, about where your family member, where your ancestors were when they made those choices that would set the tone for you to be here doing what you are doing now in this moment. That's where my head is at.
And I relate to that so intensely. Like, at the school I attend, within my grandmother's life, there was a time where she wasn't able to attend, being a Japanese woman in Canada during the Second World War. That wasn't an option for her. So, there are days when you feel like, I can't go on, but that you have to, because, you have the privilege and you have the opportunity, and you really owe it to those who came before you.
Yes.
So,
Totally. Yeah, and I know that's a conversation we were having in terms of like what it means to be a mixed race individual, and like where our sense of identity comes from, because we are not fully one side or the other. So we're always sort of walking this fine line of like, who am I?
Of course.
Like what do I relate more to? And it's almost like you can wake up one day, I could wake up and I could say, I'm feeling Trinidadian today. And the next day I'm like, I'm Irish today. And it's I'm sure the same for you, amidst your mixed heritage. It's like, I think uncovering the idea that I'm not a divided being. I am one thing. I'm not 100% either of them, but I think it's really interesting to come to a place of feeling like you do belong somewhere. Because there really is no, society wants to put us into a box. There is no box that implies you know,
For
who
sure.
we are. So I think it's easy to feel displaced in that scenario. But
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I prefer, instead of saying like I'm half this, I'm quarter this, I prefer to just say I'm mixed, because it really better represents the whole, you know. And that's something I've found, like finding what language works for you, and
yeah,
like how to present yourself. Yeah, it's a
love that.
journey that all of us are on, you know.
So true. Always navigating and always deepening and trying to figure it out. But I like that. I'm gonna take that. From now on I'm mixed.
Yeah, take it, run with it, honestly.
Yes.
Awesome. So what song do you have next for us?
Hey, okay. So I'm gonna play one on the piano for you. I'm gonna switch it
Awesome.
up. This song is called Wait on Me. I want you to hold on. I want you to wait on me until all my fear is gone and I am where I wanna be. I want you to hold on. I want you to wait on me until all my fear is gone. Until all my fear is gone. I love your enthusiasm, Taylor.
Oh, so good. I love that song.
I'm really grateful that I have an outlet like music, where I can sort of translate these feelings of, you know, when something just has to come out, it's like, I know music will be there for me. What is your art form of choice if you had to pick one?
Yeah, I focus on music. I grew up in musical theater, and then I transitioned more to like classical music, a lot of choral music, which I love. But also I play piano. You know, like all of like the auxiliary percussion that's just like triangle. Like I played triangle for a bit. I played like all of the mallet
Oh
percussion,
yeah.
like any like just like extra
Like
percussion instrument.
hold down that egg shaker, girl. Hold it down.
Oh, always.
Hold it down.
At Jack.org, you know, activism can look a lot of different ways. Like we have our speaker program, our chapters program, our summit program. There's so many different ways that activism can look like. I don't know if you've really told our audience about Rise Up Movement, but that is super, super cool as well.
Honestly, I've tried to pinpoint like why I have a heart for activism, because I just know that I do. I know innately,
Yeah.
like through music, and my hope is that people will be uplifted and encouraged, and that specifically that they will take what they hear and then apply it to their own lives. You know, the message of the Rise Up movement is like, number one, the first question is, what are you good at? What's your gift? Number two, what are you passionate about? And then number three, how do you use that gift to create a change in that area? And so that's a workshop that I have been taking into schools with like kids between grade 6 and grade 9s. And just to see people thinking that way, to see like young people thinking that way is really such a beautiful thing. But I think for all of us, like regardless of our age, we need to get over this idea that we don't have enough to make an impact. We need to get over this idea that we are not enough to change, to turn someone's day around, you know. And it can be something so minuscule, or, you know, it doesn't have to be building a school in India, although that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's so many ways that we can and need to get involved right now.
For sure.
And that's where the Rise Up movement was born. We also do community events where we'll get together around a specific cause and just learn from someone who's an expert in the field.
Young people are learning that, you know, they have the power to create change, because often like it's so easy to growing up be like, I'm just a kid, I'm just a young person, they'll listen to me, no one will take me seriously. And you know, once you get past that, and once you see, you know, the potential that you have to actually create change in whatever field that is for you, whatever it is you're passionate about, you know, I just think that's so, so important. You know, that's something we see at Jack.org is young people, you know, being given the opportunity to really take charge and make a difference in their communities and stuff that they're passionate about. So I just love that.
Beautiful.
You're that in schools. I love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, big ups to Jack.org as well, and all of the amazing like youth-led programs that exist there, because, you know, young people are doing it. Young people are doing it. And I think for so long I believed that lie, that I don't have enough, I'm not enough. And so if we can just flip the switch on that and say that you literally, the way that you are right now, you would not have to add a single ingredient, and you are still enough. You have enough.